Our panel of judges have been given their criteria, marking criteria for our debates. And it's now my pleasure to introduce our judges. On my right is Whiunga Avui Whapopota Wa'anai. She is the language lecturer with the Faculty of Education. Next to her right is Madam Demetra Murdis Rasmussen. She is the Communications, Alumni, and Events Officer with our partner APTC. And then to the very end here on my left is Susunga Asonele Aunga, lecturer with the Faculty of Science. Just a reminder to the teams as well as to the judges, no new points are allowed to be made in your summaries. And should you disregard that consideration or that point, then the new point will not be counted and the team may be penalized. It's now my pleasure to introduce our debating teams. On my right is the affirmative side, representing the Faculty of Technical Education. Please introduce yourselves.
Just 1, 2. Your Honorable Judges, Chairperson, Timekeeper, Negative Team, I would like to say talo falava. My name is Salu Tawai. We represent the 40 Faculty of Technical Education. I am from Welding and Metal Fabrications. I will be your first speaker and also our team leader.
Thank you.
Talofa guys, my name is Beaufort Sinclair, and I'm also here to represent 40. Thank you.
Thank you.
Talofa everyone, my name is Marvin Palpoi, also representing 40, and I'll be your third speaker today.
Thank you. Turning to the team on my left, the negative side, representing the Faculty of Arts, please introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairperson, Honorable Judges, Timekeeper, audience, and our opposing team. My name is Jedediah. I will be representing the negative side, representing the Faculty of Arts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. To begin, I'd like to acknowledge the Madam Chairperson, Honorable Judges, Timekeeper, audience, and opposing team. My name is Chada Foia. I will be the second speaker for the negative side, representing the Faculty of Arts.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would firstly like to acknowledge the Madam Chairperson, Honorable Judges, Timekeeper, audience, and the opposing team. My name is Yvonne Okuso. I will be the third speaker for the negative team, and I'll be representing Faculty of Arts.
Thank you. Good luck to both teams, and I now call on the first speaker of the affirmative side for your presentation. The first speaker of the affirmative side, sorry.
According to our topic today, abortions should be legalized in Samoa. And we decided our first point, abortion is not a murder. Access to a safe abortion services is a human right. Under international human rights law, everyone has a right to life, a right to health, a right to be free from violence, discriminations, and torture or cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment. On April 13, 2019, one of the human from the United States of America, interviewed by the CCN, she said that even if we grant the most generous possible terms to the anti-abortion camp, even if we pretend the fetus was fully rationed and computation Shakespeare in the womb, abortion would still not be a murder. For some, it was because they were victims or rape or incest. Some were in abusive relationship and others were not ready to be mothers. Our point that if we allowed the abortions, it's not a murder for us, especially young women in the female side. That is to save us from human rights and also our health. Because if we allow abortion in our countries, it will save us from throwing away our newborn babies, and also to save our life from dangers and also cause us sickness. And we agree with the topic that this should be allowed in Samoa, should be legalized, laws in Samoa that abortion should be legalized in Samoa. Thank you.
Thank you. I call on the first speaker of the negative side for your team's rebuttal and presentation.
Good afternoon once again to the Madam Chairperson, honorable judges, timekeeper, our audience, and our opposing team. I'd like to first begin with that abortion is considered murder. Science has proven in studies in 2017 that life begins at conception. Life begins once the fetus is formed. And abortion, defined as the intentional termination of pregnancy by using medical procedures or medicines to remove the fetus and placenta from the uterus. A fetus can be defined as an unborn human or an unborn offspring. More specifically in this side, an unborn human. So to take out the fetus from the uterus is like taking someone off life support. That is essentially murder, or in this case, infanticide, which is the murdering of a child under the age of 1 year. And this is like negative 1 year. The fetus, due to it being a live thing, also has its rights. Like you said, it has a right to live. It has a right to choose. It has a right to choose whether it wants to live or die. The fetus has a choice as well, not just the mother. But if you were to leave that fetus untampered, it could grow. After taking its full course of 9 months, it would grow into a human being just like you and I. That human being could be capable of committing amazing wonders or horrible things, but no one would know if you were to abort that baby. Also, if you were to argue that fetuses are not viable as to why we can kill it, there are people in the world that rely on others. Infants, for instance, they rely on their mothers and fathers to look after them. Elderly rely on their caretakers to look after them. There are people with disabilities, like blind people. They rely on dogs for seeing, or humans to help them see. Can we kill them because they are not viable, because they cannot depend on themselves? And it's also those who argue that we are able to commit abortion before a heartbeat or before there is brain activity.
You have 1 minute left.
Thank you. What about the people in the world that have pacemakers? This makes their heart beat. They are not able to help their heart to beat without that pacemaker. There are also people in comas. They do not have any brain activity. They are basically what you call brain dead. What about them? Can we just take them off life support? Where do we draw the line? Thank you.
Thank you. I invite the second speaker of the affirmative side for your side's rebuttal and presentation of points.
Testing. Abortion should be allowed in extreme situations such as rape, abuse, and other extreme cases. Let's just say a woman getting raped and receiving a baby that she never wanted, or a baby that she's not ready to have. This may cause consequences such as mental issues, leading the carrier with two choices: committing suicide and killing the baby. The reason of getting mental issues is, you know, as Samoans, we say things about people, right? Like, you see a mother with no father and child, then you make fun of them. You know, like, it's not cool. So this leads to breakdown to the carrier, and she has thoughts like why? Why this? So that makes her think I'm not ready. And plus the father, right? Like, he's an abusive father. Would the mother rather take the baby back into heaven where it came from, or let the baby get suffered by the abuser, the father? Thank you.
Thank you. I now invite the second speaker of the negative side for your rebuttal and presentation of points.
Okay, so to begin, I'd like to acknowledge the Madam Chairperson, honorable judges, timekeeper, audience, and opposing team. So just to begin, knowing that abortion is considered to be an alternative for most people, the process of basically ridding potential life is considered or viewed as immoral or unethical, with saying that such actions can result in consequences that are most immense for women. And most prevalent in developed nations where such law is permitted, results are shown through physical and psychological complications that they experience, which correlate with their financial situations. For instance, on health complications for the physical side, by performing abortion on a woman, they can experience breast cancer, a blocked fallopian tube, a weak cervix or cervix incompetence, heavy bleeding or damage to the internal organs. On the 12th of May 2020 at approximately 3:50 p.m., the Montgomery County Fire and Rescue Service in Maryland received a call about a substitute teacher that was in critical condition as a result of abortion and experienced a ruptured uterus, and that led into a sepsis, also leading on to her death. This is clear evidence that performing or promoting such procedure in Samoa can be lethal to our young and adult women. Also, you mentioned something about mental health for Samoa and how they can be shamed. It's called shame culture. In terms of mental health, not only can it be affected by that side, but on the psychological complications, abortion can give a woman eating disorders, depression, suicidal thoughts, and or sexual dysfunction. A case study conducted from the world population in 2018 that around 10% of women are depressed, and that 5% that make up the 10% are a product from abortion itself. So why adopt or implement such laws in Samoa when it could potentially alter or jeopardize the lives of the young and adult women of our country? And economically speaking, our medical service can't cater to their needs. For example, by experience get breast cancer, we don't have the specialists or the different people that can cater to the illnesses they're experiencing because of Samoa being a developing
You have 1
nation in
minute
general.
left.
And to conclude, abortion is expensive, in which Samoans cannot afford, considering it costs around $1,000 to $1,500 overseas, when we could use that money to buy necessities such as food, clothes, stationery for our kids as well. Thank you.
Thank you. May I call on a third speaker of the affirmative side for your team's rebuttal and presentation of points?
Just. I'd like to thank the honorable judges for this opportunity. Abortion should be allowed in extreme situations such as you say, health situation and health situation. Like pregnancy increases body change inside people. Like for an example, like having trouble breathing, or possible back pain. So imagine a girl with an internal sickness, like amnesia or a pain. Or a spine fracture. Sorry about that. Notes are getting fractured. Okay, imagine a girl with back pain, with amnesia, or a spine fracture. Like such sickness from the pregnancy could increase the pain inside the girl's body, like in that moment. So it might cause the girl to lose function of her body or immediate death. So abortion should be legalized to save this kind of people. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. I invite the third speaker of the negative side for your rebuttal and presentation of points.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd firstly like to acknowledge the Madam Chairperson, the judges, our timekeeper, the audiences, and the opposing team. So to start with my rebuttal, our first speaker, you stated that a fetus is not a living being. However, the moment a woman finds out that she is pregnant, we are talking 6 weeks into her pregnancy. 6 weeks into it, the child has already developed brain activity. The child has already developed genetic identity and a heartbeat. So to deny those characteristics as a human being is denying the characteristics of humanity in general. Second of all, according to our Constitution in the Act 91 and the Crimes Act, it states specifically that abortion is murder, whether the child is born or not. Also, I would like to rebuttal against what our second speaker stated about the cases of rape. Well, yes, she was raped. Yes, she did get pregnant. But the problem isn't that she got pregnant. The problem is that she got raped. Why is it that an innocent child has to pay for the price that they did not commit? Also, I would like to rebuttal against what our third speaker stated about diseases. In our Constitution, the only time abortion is allowed is when the child would actually cause health problems for both the mother and the child. So yes, there's already law that states that is the only time that abortion is allowed. Now, to furthermore my points, I will be talking about the alternatives. First of all, why is abortion even considered an option when abortion involves the actual activity of killing someone? Why is abortion considered an option when we have different alternatives? Our first alternative, let's say a woman doesn't want her baby. We have adoption available. Yes, majority of the time people relate adoption, relate legal guardianship, and relate foster care to abuse. However, studies in the Netherlands in 2012 had stated that a child is less likely to be abused, 8 times less likely to be abused by the adoptive parents than the general family population. Second of all, when a child is being given up for adoption, there are policies that the adoptive parents must have to face before adopting a child. My second alternative that women can use is the use of emergency contraceptions. Let's say that a woman did get raped. Instead of aborting her child or killing her child, she can use contraceptions to avoid pregnancy. Now, my third point is that what our country needs isn't abortion. What our country needs is education. We need sex education so that people understand the uses of contraceptions. Now, to summarize, abortion shouldn't be an option. It shouldn't be legalized. We have other alternatives. Thank you.
Thank you. I now invite the final and fourth speaker of the affirmative side for your side's rebuttal on all the points made by the negative side and your summing up.
For suggesting on the first speaker of the negative side that he mentioned that terminated for newborn baby. My point that to suggest that it's better for a newborn baby to abortion rather than born and thrown away or denied in the rubbish bin, or as for example, as we see around in Samoa, a lot of a newborn baby being thrown away, especially Samoa, even overseas. So that's why we fight for that abortion should be legalized in Samoa. Because if we do allow that, if we have a law for that, then most of our baby will be safe to return to heaven rather than throw in the rubbish or eat it by animal. Second suggestion to the second speaker that he mentioned that thrown away, as I said, that we thrown away baby is not a good attitude. It's not a good way for us as a human being. As we assume those souls being thrown away, it's not a good idea for us. It's better for us to do this way. It's easy and simple, rather than as we see them on the road, under the road, in the rubbish bin, or everywhere. Third one, she mentioned that about if the only time we do abortion when cause sickness to the mother and the child. If we do that or allow in Samoa, it's still abortion. So that means we have to allow this things to help ourselves and also to help our country, to save those people and save those souls. Like I said, it's better for a baby to die, return to heaven, rather than we see around on the road. That really makes sense. And I know that if we have a law to legalize abortion in Samoa, a lot of women and young girls will be saved from those situations, being raped or incessive or abusive relationship. Like my team mentioned that those things happen because they've been raped, they've been abusive, or other hardest situation is caused themselves. So we summarize that. We suggest and request to the government in Samoa, we should have a law to legalize abortion in Samoa. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I invite the fourth and final speaker of the negative side for its rebuttal on all the points made by the affirmative side and your summing up.
Thank you. Good afternoon once again to Madam Chairperson, honorable judges, our timekeeper, our wonderful audience, and our opposing side. You said it is better to kill a baby than to let it be living in this world. You literally just admitted that that is murder. And murder is against not just our constitutional laws, but our values as a Samoan Christian people. Like our third speaker said, there are other alternatives from abortion. When we have adoption or legal guardianship or contraceptive pills to prevent pregnancy, those are alternatives. Then people don't have to take the way of dumping them, and we don't have to abort them. We can let them live, and we can let them have a chance to life to be able to fulfill what dreams they can have. But we will never know their dreams if we kill them. And that's a part of my point, is that abortion is murder. It's against our values as a Samoan Christian people. We're going everything we stand for as an also democratic nation. We are taking away its right to choose, its right to life that it has, that every human being should and will have. Its right to life, but only if you let it live. Like I said once again, life begins at conception. So to say that it's better to murder a baby is so immorally wrong. And also abortion, like you said, abortion also has effects on women as well. Damage to female organs, which can affect later fertility and life, infection, incomplete abortion, and there has been studies that link abortion to breast cancer. And in extreme cases, like our second speaker said, sometimes even death. Also, there are emotional and psychological impacts on a person which take a far more worse toll on a human than physical ones, like guilt, abortion guilt, which leads to depression. And that depression leads to flashbacks of that abortion. And those flashbacks can sometimes lead to suicidal thoughts, another heinous act. I'd also like to reiterate that abortion is very expensive for Samoa if we were to allow it. It's $1,500 US to perform an abortion. That is about 4,500 Samoan tala, which can be used to provide for that child, to provide the necessary needs for that child. But you want to abort it instead. It will also put a strain on our other medical services, as we'll be having to redirect income to that new service to try and help it stay alive and grow. And once again, I'd like to reiterate that there are other alternatives. There are other paths from abortion. We do not have to kill the child. We can give it a life and an opportunity to grow into a human, just like you and I. Thank you very much.
Thank you. A big hand for both teams. I thank you very much for your presentation of views on this. Quite a complex subject matter. It's also a highly sensitive and very emotional topic. But I take my hat off to you, both teams, for attempting, and arguing your views. depending on which side, the affirmative, the negative. We've now come to the conclusion of the debate. However, we await the judges' telling of its points. And while we're waiting, we call on the audience for comments and or questions about the debate and the points made. Rupena?
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson, for the opportunity. I don't have a questions to the debating teams, but just to comment on the organization of this debate. And I would like to direct this comment to the executive, the NUSSA executive, if they could please, emphasize the numbers of the debating teams in each rounds, because according to the Facebook page of the association where we feed our information from, we were supposed to go second. And the first team, the SOMT or School of Maritime versus Center of Samoan Studies goes first for today. So the reason I'm voicing this, it's because I don't want to rush my team. Because we were prepared for the second round of today's debate. And if the association could please work on that and to avoid any further confusion. And yeah, that's it for me, but thank you very, very much.
Well, thank you very much, Rupena. The members of the executive committee debating team are listening, especially Winona, who is coordinating today because Tepatasi has an exam. So yeah, I'm sure your suggestion is taken on board. There's also a point that I would like to make to the committee, and that is, this is based on feedback that I received today that the CSS may have decided not to participate, and we're wondering if, and would have, if the debate was in Samoan. Now, previously, in previous years, the debates have been open to both languages. There are a number of debates conducted in English, and the debate committee would determine which debates would be conducted in Samoan. So I would like to strongly suggest to the debating committee of NUSSA this year to please give a look at your topics and determine which day, which debates can be conducted in the Samoan language. And after all, the National University of Samoa was set up to make sure that a Center for Samoan Studies is established. Okay? So it's very important, and it's very appropriate that at least one of the debates should be conducted in the Samoan language. Now, back to the topic. I guess my question is, because there are rights, the rights of the mother, the rights of the baby, of the unborn child. The question that comes to my mind is, why is abortion considered in the first place? Why is it considered in the first place? Culturally, if something happens, then the baby would be taken care of by the family. But there are religious beliefs that get in the way. But my point is, why is it considered in the first place? And overseas, international argument is the rights of the mother, the rights of the unborn child become at the forefront in the argument. Even today, in the United States, Trump administration is trying to strike down a judgment or a decision made many years back which legalized abortion, Roe versus Wade. And the black population and women are up in arms. So it's a very sensitive subject, but very important subject matter for all of us to understand. But like I said, it's not an easy subject because it involves our religious beliefs, it involves our emotions, we become very sensitive and all of that. But it's important for all of you students and all of us to understand. I am now going to have the marks, the tally of marks from our judges. And the judges have made the decision that Forte received a total of 274 marks, and the Faculty of Arts received a total of 530 marks. So, Faculty of Arts won this debate. Thank you very much, judges. Thank you very much, debating teams. Baftetele, thank you, students, for your participation. Oh, okay. So that's the end of this first debate for today. We had scheduled a second debate. However, one of the teams will not be present, have informed that they won't be here. So, and that was supposed to be between the Center for Samoan Studies and the School of Maritime Training. So, well, let's end this debate first. Thank you very much. And then we'll invite School of Maritime Training to the front and we'll continue with our second debate or second process. Okay, thank you very much.